All right, we're going to get back to our weather team with an update on the latest on these storms. Dave?
Let's go ahead and take a look at what we have out there right now. We have a new tornado warning, which is in effect here. Looks like for southern areas of Bacon County and northern areas of Ware County. That is a tornado warning going through that 3:30 time frame. And let's go ahead and take a look at the reflectivity over in that area, the velocity, I should say, for that. And we'll put it out of the Jacksonville office. What we're looking at right now is apparently we have the rotation here located near the Nichols area, about 10 miles west of Alma, moving east at 60 miles per hour. So that storm is racing out towards the east here into the Alma area. So it'll continue to work its way east, and we have, this is from a weather spotter now, and he's saying that it is a confirmed tornado, which is moving east at about 60 miles per hour right now into that area. So that's where the tornado warning for southeastern Coffee County, northwestern Pierce, north central Ware, and southern areas of Bacon County through 3:30. And we can see where we have some of that rotation. Unfortunately, this is kind of right on the edge of our radar scan out here. I'm going to go step over in the front. Dylan, you can go ahead and take over to track that for us as we continue to watch that warning. Again, the Nichols area, where that storm was coming out of, is right over in this area here, and that's moving just south of the Gussie area as it continues to make its way into the Alma region, which is located here. So we're seeing rotation with this system continue to race its way out towards the east at about 60 miles per hour. And this is what we've been saying, that these storms have a lot of wind energy with them, and at any time we can get some of that rotation trying to get a little spin up. And we had a confirmed report. This is from a Weather Service spotter, which said that they did see a tornado. That has prompted the tornado warning, which we have now, including the Alma area. So we had rotation back over near the Nichols region, which prompted the warning over for Bacon County. And we can still see that here passing. It looks like kind of just south of Georgia 32, just about to get into the Alma region. Switching over in Alma, you're under that tornado warning first here. Make sure you have your family into that safe shelter, safe area, lowest level of your home, interior room, away from any window, such as a bathroom or a closet, putting as many walls in between you and the outside as possible. Getting into Alma by about 3:11, so it's only a couple minutes from now, and then heading over towards the Bristol region by about 3:28 and Owen by 3:33 as this continues to work its way towards the east very, very quickly. So if you're watching over there into the Alma area, let's put the reflectivity back on to show you that we do have very heavy rainfall. And even if this is not producing a tornado right now, currently, we certainly do have a lot of locally heavy rainfall. And that is moving through along with some very gusty winds moving into the Alma area. And this is continuing to stretch all the way back into the Nichols region. So this is what we're watching out ahead of it. New Lacey into the Bristol area, even down into the Beach region. This is the area which the storm will continue to make its way down towards the east-southeast. So let's go ahead and put the alerts back on. As you see that, this is where we have that tornado warning for including the Alma area, even back over towards Nichols. And I believe that goes through that 3:30 time frame for that storm racing down to the southeast at about 60 miles per hour. So let's put the velocity back on here. And again, it's kind of right on the edge of the radar beam. Unfortunately, the radar coming out of Valdosta is down right now, but we do have the radar coming out of the Jacksonville office. That's going to extend up here, and you can see we're looking at the potential for some rotation here just south of the Alma area right now. So it's just about to get over towards US 1, where we're seeing some of that rotation here north of the Boline area, which is along US 1, south of Alma. You're on the south side here, south of 32. This is where the area of concern. So watching over towards New Lacey into the Bristol area, this is where you need to be in your safe shelter now. If you know anybody who lives out there, not a bad idea to give them a call saying, hey, this storm is heading your way. Make sure you are safe and in your safe area, as this storm has the history of producing a tornado back out over closer to the Nichols area, I believe. That's where a weather spotter saw this. There's two types of tornado warnings. One is a radar indicated tornado, meaning the Weather Service is looking in at the velocity and sees rotation. But if the other one is actually a confirmed tornado where actually somebody sees it on the ground and radios that into the National Weather Service, and that's what we had with this one. So this has a history of producing a tornado. It's going just south of the Alma area, along south of 32 and crossing over US 1, and will continue to make its way out towards the east. So let's go ahead and see if we get any of the street levels over in that area, any streets. And we're going to put it a little bit more easterly here of US 1, kind of over in this area along and just east of US 1, and see if we got any streets. So here we go. We have Fir Tree Lane, Mimosa Road, Sweet Gum Road, and looks like Chestnut Road. In those areas, this is where we're looking at the potential rotation, continuing to make its way towards the east here, towards Johnson Lake Road, Cartertown Road, Holland Hill Road. These are the areas which are going to be in the path of where we are looking at rotation here, moving in from the west. So this is what we need to make sure that you are aware of. Tornado warning now in effect for parts of Bacon County going through, and even parts of Pierce County as well. That's going to go through that 3:30 time frame for this rotation in here. Even if this is not producing a tornado at this time, there's going to be a tremendous amount of wind energy. This line of storms has a history of producing a lot of power outages further out into Toombs and Montgomery County, even parts of Tattnall County, a little bit further out to the north. But again, this is a lot of wind energy associated with this system. And because of that, again, we are still looking at that. Let's zoom out a little bit more, Dylan, to see what we have out here with this. Again, this is going to be where I talk about being on the end of the radar screen. Anytime you start to see a little bit of some purple embedded in here, you're getting some false echoes, false returns coming from the radar. But it looks like we're getting a good scan right here south of Alma, heading over towards US 1. And this is where we could potentially be seeing that crossing right over US 1 as we speak right now. Again, we're circling where we're looking at the potential, where we are seeing rotation, potential tornado, I should say. We're definitely seeing a little bit of rotation in there, and that's going to continue to head out towards the Coffee area as we continue to work its way towards the east. And it says it's racing there at about 60 miles per hour. So that'll put it over towards Coffee around that 3:21 time frame, as these storms, again, work very quickly from west to east. This is the southern extent of where we have some of the storms. A large view shows we're still continuing to watch a lot of other storms out there. This is a look at that's one over in Alma, but they're just now moving into Wayne County, into Long County, into the Hinesville area, Pembroke region, into Effingham County. These are not looking like they're going to be tornadic to the north, but certainly these storms have been seeing a little bit of rotation, especially the ones from Hinesville down towards Jessup, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that. But as of right now, let's go ahead and show you what we have as far as the warnings go. Lots of severe thunderstorm warnings in effect with this main line making its way now all along the coast. So anywhere south of Savannah, heading all the way down into the Darien region, severe thunderstorm warning in effect. But the tornado warning where we have, where some of those winds are seeing a little bit of rotation in there, that's the tornado warning we have for Bacon County. So south of Alma, that's where we're looking at that tornado warning going through 3:30. So this is the one we're going to concentrate on, as we do have that only tornado warning as of right now. So let's go ahead and zoom back on in here to that area, Bacon County, and we'll kind of focus about where it is and out ahead of that storm. We'll look at the velocity out there right now. And this is coming out of the National Weather Service radar out of Jacksonville. And we're still seeing some of that rotation here. Here's Alma right there, and just south of Alma, crossing over US 1, is where we're still seeing some of that rotation. And so if you're watching out ahead of this, let's say over into New Lacey, even over towards Bristol, the Walkersville area, this storm is going to be racing out into your area. Here's the latest scan, and you can see it's already over New Lacey. So Alma, you are in the clear right now. The storm with the rotation has moved a little bit further out here over towards the New Lacey area, getting closer to Georgia 32, and it's going to be moving right over towards the Bristol region. So let's make sure we have 60-mile-per-hour wind on that tracker out there and put another tracker on there for you as we continue to see that working over, again, into Bristol area, Walkersville, the Rich area, even into Scriven. Coffee by 319, the Bristol area by 325, and in Scriven, this storm will be moving in at about 336. Again, doesn't mean it's going to be tornadic the whole way, but we're definitely seeing a little bit of rotation embedded in there as it's passing now to the south and east of Alma very quickly at about 60 miles per hour. So that alone tells you how much wind is in there. You can easily see 60 mile per hour wind gusts moving the storm, and briefly you could have some rotation, which can produce even some stronger winds over a very short area, which shows us where the rotation is going to be. And this is where we're looking at some of that broad rotation here. Moving away from Alma, crossing to the east now of US 1, getting over towards Coffee. So let's zoom back on in and see if we can get some more of those street level areas here to keep you informed out ahead of where that storm is going. So getting into, let's say, Timber Trail, Country Road 82, Country Road 81, into the Thrasher Road area, the Woodchuck Road, and Johnny Peacock Road. Those are the streets, some of the streets out ahead of where we're seeing that rotation continue to work its way, crossing over Georgia 32 and getting close to the Coffee region right now. So we need to be in our safe shelter. Tornado warning still going for another 14 minutes for parts of Bacon County and extreme far western areas of Pierce County as well, as we continue to see that rotation here crossing over 32 just south and east of the New Lacey area. So kind of zoom out a little bit just to give people a reference area of where we're talking about right now. Here is the New Lacey area. It's already moved through Alma very quickly, and we're seeing that potential rotation in here anywhere from Coffee heading over down into the Georgia 203 area south of New Lacey and continue to work its way out towards the east. So again, if you're watching this, even if it's not producing a tornado, you're going to see a lot of strong damaging winds, and it looks like we're going to be seeing some more hail embedded with that as well. So if you're out ahead of that system in the parts of Pierce County, go ahead and bring the car in, because we're going to be seeing some of that large hail trying to move out of Bacon County into Pierce County. But this is where the warning is right now, and again, it looks like it's still right here in between New Lacey, right along Georgia 32, heading over towards the Coffee area, where we're seeing that rotation there, which potentially could be producing that tornado. Weather Service saying anything about any type of damage or confirmation of this continuing to show anything, Dylan?
Not getting any reports, just excessive wind gusts of anywhere between 50 to 55 miles per hour over there near the Bacon County Airport.
Oh, so over near the Bacon County Airport, so that has already moved on through, and we continue to see that rotation now moving into almost, it looks like, Pierce County right now. Let's go and zoom on out to show you where we are here. There is the New Lacey area, and that is going to be into Bacon County, but as you move over here, getting closer now into western areas of Pierce County, and that's where we have the rotation here, south and east of the Alma area. So that is the main focus for this tornado warning, which continues through 3:30, so about another 12 minutes or so. So if you're watching even out into the Bristol area, this is where we need to be in our safe shelter, because this storm is racing towards the east at about 60 miles per hour. We'll put a tracker on there from where we're seeing some of that rotation and then kind of move it out over towards Bristol. That will show us how quickly that storm is going to get into your area. And it looks like here, put it all together there, some Bristol about 3:28, that's another 9 minutes from now. Patterson by about, I think it's at 3:34, and then getting over towards the Scriven area here. So again, the storm had a history of producing a tornado near the Nichols area. We'll get confirmation from the National Weather Service where it was, if it had any damage or so. But there was a spotter spotted a tornado, relayed it back to the National Weather Service, and they're the ones that brought out the tornado warning for the storm. Continue to work east of the Alma area and here in eastern areas of Bacon County, right along Georgia 32. So let's go zoom on in to right along eastern areas of Bacon County and western areas of the Pierce County region. And it looks like right over in this area, kind of just north of the Coffee region, it looks like we're getting some good rotation in here. East of New Lacey, north of Georgia 32, right over the city of Coffee right now, we are seeing rotation which potentially could be producing a tornado at this time. So you need to be in your safe shelter. This tornado warning is still in effect going through 3:30, and this is going to continue to work over towards, let's bring it up towards the Rich area. Let's track it out from the Coffee region over towards Rich. So if you're crossing over 203 and 121 over towards Rich, timing it out for you, getting in there by about 3:32. So that's only about another 10, 11 minutes or so. So that's how quickly it's going to move. That's why you need to be prepared. Into your safe area, we always talk about that. Where's the safest place to be? If you're in a mobile home, if you can, say you're over in Rich right now, if you can get to a sturdier shelter, that would be preferable. But if you're in a home, you need to be in your lowest level of your home, interior room, an interior bathroom, an interior closet, preferably with no windows, putting as many walls in between you and the outside as possible, because we're seeing rotation right there, just south of New Lacey, in between 203 and 32. And that one is looking a little bit better at this time as far as the rotation. So let's see if we can get a little bit more some street level down there. You can put the warnings on there. That warning has been extended now. So we have that new tornado warning, which has been extended for that rotation, which we are seeing. It's about to move out of that area, but they've extended that warning now till 3:45. That does include the Scriven area into Wayne County right now. South of Jessup, although you still have a severe thunderstorm warning into that area. And again, it's for the storm, which is still right now into Bacon County, east of the New Lacey area, which will make its way through southern areas of Appleton County into western areas of the Wayne County region. So let's go back over, show you the reflectivity. With that line of storms continue to make its way very quickly from west to east, and this is the main area. Notice how it's bowing out a little bit here. That's a sign that we have some very strong winds associated with that. The winds in the storms move down in the downdraft of the storm, hit the ground, and then they're forced outward. We're seeing a lot of wind, and occasionally when you have a lot of that wind energy, you can get some areas which tend to rotate a little bit, and that's what we're seeing. So this is going to show us where we have the strongest rain or precipitation. As we look at the reflectivity, to see the winds inside the storm, we need to go over to the velocity, and that'll show us exactly where we're seeing some of that rotation embedded in the storm. So looks like Alma right now, your severe threat is pretty much over with. That storm has moved out to your east, and it's right here. You can see that rotation right there where we have the reds and the greens right next to each other here, in between Georgia 32, and I think that was 203. So let's go in a little bit more. The latest scan should be coming in any second now. And this will be probably a little bit further out to the east. So we'll watch this along Georgia 121. North of Bristol, the storm was located over Coffee as of the last scan. But again, it's racing at about 60 miles per hour. So if you're watching over in Rich, this storm is barreling down on your area. So you need to be in your safe shelter. Again, lowest level of your home, putting as many walls in between you and in the outside as possible. You might want to go ahead and call any of your friends or relatives if you're watching this that live down in that area that might not be aware. Hopefully they have those weather alerts and they're on and they're getting that information and taking appropriate action, because we are seeing some rotation in here. This warning has been extended to include now a lot of Wayne County. So let's go ahead and time it out and take a little larger view here and include Wayne County. So we'll time this out for you. Get over towards Scriven and the Broadhurst area, if we could, Dylan, to include some of the cities out there. And you can see that racing out to the east, getting into Rich in about the next 8 to 9 minutes. Scriven, it looks like, getting in there by 3:40, and Jessup by about 3:48. Again, not too much longer before that storm will be moving into Wayne County, as it's now still into Bacon County. And it's still showing a very good rotation embedded in that. And the next scan will be coming out very shortly, and we'll see how quickly this is advanced out towards the east. There is the latest scan. So let's get rid of the tracker on here and kind of see if we can refocus where that scan was. Again, there's where it was, and here's where it is right now. So it's getting closer to Georgia 121 as it continues to make its way north of the Bristol area and continue to work its way eastward, as we have a couple little areas. Could be another little one right over here south of the Bristol region. This main area is showing some rotation, continue to work through Bristol and passing into the Patterson area in parts of Pierce County, and then it's going to move into Wayne County. So if you're watching now into the Scriven area, even into Bristol, hopefully you are into your safe shelter right now as the storm is working its way very quickly in from the west. So let's go ahead and zoom on in here. Let's get a couple more of those street level areas to see who is in ahead of this storm, in the path of this storm. And we're seeing that rotation. So it's going to be in this area right here. So we're going to kind of zoom on in here. Let's get some streets out. Long Branch Road, Stanfield Road, Dasher Road, Crystal Road, McKell Lake Road. This is the area which is out ahead of where we're seeing that rotation right now, but it's not too far to the west. Looks like the rotation is right along Georgia 121 and continue to work its way quickly to the east at about 60 miles per hour. So that'll be the main concern. Are we hearing any reports of any type of damage out there into the chat area?
I haven't gotten any reports of any new damage. Things are just kind of moving a little bit too quickly in that area right now for us to get a lot of that information, I think, quite yet, Dave. But still, they're just continuing to watch this system. Still up to 78-mile-an-hour gusts detected with this current storm right now. The good news is about this area, not looking at a lot of hail, but still those very, very gusty winds still out and about as we head into the next couple of minutes, and we're going to continue to track it. Dave, are you seeing anything else with any of the other storms in the area?
Yeah, we continue to watch that. Yeah, this is the one that's just showing us the most amount of rotation embedded in the storm. And again, zoom out just a little bit so people who are watching know exactly where we are here. There is Rich right now, just south of Georgia 203. Here is Coffee. The storm moved right over Coffee, and we're still seeing that rotation just kind of north of the Bristol area, crossing over Georgia 121. And this is going to continue to head over towards the Scriven area in western Wayne County. This is the one which has prompted the warning. This is the rotation which prompted that tornado warning. That tornado warning, again, goes through, I believe it's 345. Let's put the warnings back on just to show you that it stretches on into Wayne County. So if you're watching now into Wayne County, you need to be alert. You need to get ready to take action as the storm is continuing to make its way in from that area. It's going to cross over northern Pierce County, southern Appling, and then get into Wayne County. That tornado warning does go until 3:45. Alma, again, you saw this. This is a very tornadic line. Had a lot of rotation embedded in there. We had reports of a tornado from a spotter near the Nichols area. Another one here near the Alma area, which has prompted this current tornado warning, which we have out there going through 3:45. So it's part of that same system. And we can see that line extending in yellow. So even though it might not be producing a tornado in a lot of Wayne County, we are still going to see that a lot of wind, 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, certainly cannot be ruled out. Let's go ahead and put the radar back on here to show you where we have a lot of that activity, where we have the rain. The heaviest activity right now is just over the Bristol area. A lot of lightning strikes. Let's see how many lightning strikes we have embedded in that area if we can. Dylan, over here into the Bristol region, if we can track that with the lightning strikes in there. If we go back out over there and we can see how many we have. There we go. We got about 82 lightning strikes just north of the Bristol area. That's a sign of how intense the storms are. A lot of updrafts and downdrafts in there, and that's a sign that the storm is still strengthening a bit. And we have more of that extending up towards the Ludowici, Hinesville area. A lot of lightning, and there was some rotation we've been watching. Right now we don't have any warnings, but they're definitely going to produce a lot of wind energy associated with that. But the main area we're watching right now is we go back over and look at the velocity in there for that region. That's going to show us where we have that rotation right now into that area. As we look at the velocity associated with that storm, that's going to show us where we have that kind of, it was just north of the Bristol area, continue to make its way out towards the east here. And here we are, zooming in, and it's going to be this area just about crossing over 2121. Now, there's the latest scan. Again, every couple minutes, we'll get a new scan, and it looks like that storm has now moved well to the east of 121, getting north of Patterson, and just south of the Rich area is where we're seeing that potential rotation right now. So again, Scriven, you're not too far away, crossing over 84 here within the next couple of minutes. So this storm is going to be moving into your region, down into Patterson. So if you're watching really anywhere from Patterson into the Scriven area, looks like it's getting into Scriven by about 3:38. This is where you should be taking cover into your safe shelter, lowest level of your home, putting as many walls in between you and the outside as possible. Make sure you have a way to receive these alerts. And if you know anybody who's out ahead of that storm in here across parts of southern areas of Wayne County, make sure you give them a call. Let them know that this potential tornado is moving into their area and they need to take shelter as we speak, because that will continue to make its way in from the west. So there's where the rotation is right now, moving out of the Bristol area, continuing just north of Patterson, south of the Rich region, and that'll continue to work its way over towards Scriven. Again, this is where we're seeing rotation into the storm. It doesn't officially mean, we haven't seen any reports that this is actually producing a tornado right now, but certainly we're seeing rotation, meaning there could be some circulation coming from the bottom of the cloud, making its way down to the ground. So we need to be prepared for that just in case, because this warning was going through 345, and that is including the Scriven area, Broadhurst, the Manningtown, O'Neill area, crossing over US 301 there in southern areas of Wayne County. As far as the warnings go, we still have those warnings in effect for that tornado warning. The other warnings have been expired. Again, the circulation we've been watching has moved out of the area. Alma, New Lacey, looks like your severe threat really winding down, especially for any tornadic activity, but it's going to be with that main line making its way to the coast that we're definitely going to be keeping our eyes on. We don't have any tornado warnings for the coastal areas, but you can see all of these severe thunderstorm warnings, 60-plus mile-per-hour winds can't be ruled out anywhere along this line as we put the reflectivity back on in here. And that is going, the severe thunderstorm warning there for, I believe that's Chatham County, going through 345 and parts of Effingham and Jasper County as well. There's that main line just now getting into the Garden City area, down into Richmond Hill. A lot of heavy lightning, Hinesville, Midway, very gusty winds. You see that bowing there heading out of Liberty and Long County, about to move into McIntosh County. That's where we're seeing some very strong winds and a lot of lightning associated with that, about 99 lightning strikes. And then this area back over here, heading into, just about to move into Wayne County, about 77 lightning strikes. And that's the most intense right now because that's where we had that tornado warning in effect, as we can easily see some spin-ups with this main line. Once this main line passes your area, your severe threat is over. So we're still getting some rain, maybe a little bit of lightning back towards Statesboro and Vidalia, but your severe threat is over. It's along the coastal areas into Beaufort, Bluffton, Hilton Head, Savannah, Tybee, Hinesville, Jessup, Darien, Brunswick, and even into the down into Waycross. That's where the severe weather threat is. Your severe threat is over for Baxley, Alma, Vidalia, at least for tonight. We have another round coming up tomorrow. But let's get back into that tornado warning here. Here, we'll put the velocity back on in here and show us where we are still looking at some of that rotation right now, and it's moving to the right near the Bristol area, zooming in. And it's kind of right on the border here of Appling County into Pierce County and just now getting into Wayne County, where we're seeing that rotation just north of the Patterson region, east now of Bristol, south of Rich, right along about to get into US 84 near the Scriven region. So if you're watching over in that area, again, this is where we need to be in our safe shelter. This is where we're still seeing some rotation, which potentially could be producing a tornado. We're still not hearing any reports of any activity from the Weather Service. Anything in the chat as far as any type of damage? Any reports of power outages in that area?
No reports of power. No reports of power outages in that area, Dave. But we still are going to be looking at that new circulation, and that's pretty much what everybody is focused on. What you've been talking about over there near Bristol and in northern Pierce County, and that's really where the National Weather Service has also put their emphasis. And
it looks like the latest scan has come in, and it's now moving well east of Bristol, south and east of the Rich area, and right over the Scriven region is where we are seeing some of that potential. It looks more broad out there as far as a tight couplet that we had earlier, and hopefully that's a sign that it is starting to kind of cycle out, get a little bit weaker. But we're definitely still seeing some broad rotation in here as it's getting over 84 over towards the Scriven area, kind of just north of the Patterson region. So these storms had a history of kind of cycling, meaning they can wind up and get a little bit more intense quickly, and then they can weaken just as quickly as they intensify. So we definitely need to be watching this system as it continues to make its way out towards the east here. So let's go ahead and just move a little bit further out towards the east here. Let's focus a little bit more here on 301, heading over towards east of that, over towards US 25, kind of just south of Jessup. We'll put a little tracker on here from Scriven eastward and kind of move that storm and give you a little warning of what's or who is out ahead of where we're seeing some of that rotation. Looks like McKinnon, 343, Manningtown, That was going to be here, well, we don't know where Manningtown, but we're looking at Pendarvis now at 353, Townsend by about 407, and Darien, eventually that line getting in there about that 413 time frame. And that should bring a lot of the storms to the coast by that time, and hopefully a lot of this activity will be winding down even for the coast between that 5 to 6 o'clock hour, which would be definitely some good news. Hopefully we'll bring an end to that severe weather threat this evening here within the next hour or so. But there's where we're still seeing some broad rotation now along 84 into Scriven. That has prompted the tornado warning, which we still have for Wayne County right now. You can see they trimmed that back a little bit. So Bristol, you are not under that warning. We still have that warning here from Scriven crossing over 301. That is a tornado warning going through 345. So that's just about the next 8 minutes or so. And it looks like they've kind of extended that warning here now into eastern areas of Long County for a severe thunderstorm warning. How far does that one go out to? What time does that end, the severe thunderstorm warning? Including the Jessup area. That goes through 345 out there as well. So again, a lot of wind associated with this system. We've been seeing some of the rotation kind of flare up a little bit, get a little bit more intense, prompting some of these warnings. And now it looks like some of that rotation is weakening just a bit for now, but we definitely need to be watching that closely as we still have that tornado warning in effect for really Wayne County, it looks like right now. Southern areas of Wayne County, south of Jessup, moving over Scriven as we speak until 345. So we'll show you where we have that. There's a look at the hail potentially moving into Scriven, so we talked about that. If you have a car that's outside, not under any type of shelter, and you're anywhere east of Scriven, go ahead and bring that in now or try to get that covered up because we can definitely be seeing some large hail trying to move over your area along with that potential rotation. That's the main area for that tornado warning we have is going to be in this area. And again, it looks more broad as of right now, meaning it's over a larger area. We still have the reds and the greens next to each other. This is the velocity. What we're looking at is winds in the green going towards the radar. This radar is coming out of the Jacksonville, Florida area. So that's the wind here, and this is the red going away from the radar. So there's a lot of broad circulation aloft into the atmosphere. It's probably a couple thousand feet up in the sky. Whether that's making its way down to the ground or not is not confirmed, but that's why we still have that tornado warning, because it potentially could make its way down to the ground at any time. So we definitely need to make sure that you are aware of that and take precautions to keep you and your family safe. So if it's right over the Scriven region now, with the heavy rain, the hail, the very strong winds, it's going to be moving right over 301, kind of on the south side of the Jessup area, and then continuing to make its way out towards the east, over the Broadhurst area. So let's see if we have any streets over here near the Broadhurst region. See if you can pick up anything along 301, because you're going to be in the path of this. So Walker Creek Road, Rogers Road. We're looking at Rogers Break, it looks like. And what's this one up to the north over there? I can't see what that is. That's Walter Creek Road and Robert Harper Road. These are the streets which are going to be in the path of where we are seeing some of that circulation. So this is where you need to be into your safe shelter, right over the Broadhurst region right now. South of the Jessup area here in Wayne County is what we're focusing on with that tornado warning. That's where we're seeing some of that rotation in the storm, which potentially could be producing a tornado at any time. And it continues to make its way towards the east. So even if it's not producing a tornado, lots of wind energy. We had a lot of reports of some power outages here as the storm has been moving in from the west, especially the further northern extent of that, into Toombs, Montgomery, and into Tattnall County. And again, this one is looking a little bit more broad, but it's still producing a lot of wind. And when I say about broad, a couple of frames ago, we had the red and the green more tightly compacted next to each other. This one here is a little bit larger over a larger area. So there's definitely a lot of wind in here. And the Weather Service is keeping that warning going for the next couple of minutes until that warning goes through 3:45 p.m. So if you're just tuning in right now, let's go ahead and take a look at those warnings which we have, because those storms are now just getting into the coastal regions. And the severe thunderstorm warnings for a lot of the coastal regions, with the exception there, you can see of Scriven, right over the Broadhurst area. That is a tornado warning, the only tornado warning we have for our area. If you're watching in Alma, Baxley, Glenville, Claxton, Statesboro, Sylvania, even up towards Hampton, it looks like your severe threat is over for now. But along the coast, especially along the I-95 area here, Savannah southward into Jessup, in the Townsend, Darien, Midway area. That's where that severe threat is going to continue because that's where that line of storms is currently right now. So western areas of Fort Stewart, back towards Glenville, your severe threat's over, but we still have some rain and maybe an isolated thunderstorm. And you can see a lot of that lightning getting into Townsend, back towards Jessup, and then here back into the Patterson area. This is going to quickly make its way through the region. We're hearing the rain and thunder right now here at WTOC, and that's going to move over towards Hilton Head and the islands. And a lot of wind energy associated with this, but the only warning we have right now is down into Wayne County as far as tornado warnings, and that's why we're on air right now, to make sure you are aware of that. It's just south of Jessup, right over the Broadhurst area. Let's go back over and see what's going on. Maybe the latest scan has come in already, and we'll update you on that into southern areas of, central areas of Wayne County. And again, it's right over south of Jessup, into the Broadhurst area. And the scan, again, it's looking, this scan here is looking a little bit more broad to me. So is the Weather Service, the chat, saying what they're going to do with this warning from Jacksonville?
They're still tracking the circulation with a possible tornado moving over the Screven, which is what you were talking about 4 or 5 minutes ago. So that's really the biggest area that they are watching because it's got very strong winds with gusts moving anywhere from 60 to 70.
Yeah, so again, even if this is not producing a tornado, we were just talking about that, we're looking at 60 to maybe 70 mile per hour wind gusts as it continues to move through. Now, east of Scriven, heading over towards the Broadhurst area, and that'll continue to make its way over towards Pendarvis into the Odessa region. In between 301 and 25 right now is the area we're going to continue to watch as this continues to work its way out towards the east. So Broadhurst, right now, it's over your area. Into the Gardai area, 352. Pendarvis at 353. And this is potentially, again, still has some rotation. Potentially could see that rotation come from the base of the cloud and make its way down to the ground in the form of a tornado. If not, all that wind energy could certainly take down some tree limbs, and we could be talking about some power concerns associated with this band as it makes its way towards the east. And it's been moving at about 50 to 60 miles per hour, so it's moving pretty quickly here. So again, it looks like we've already seen the severe threat move through the Scriven area, but it's crossing over 301 right now, kind of just to the south and east of the Jessup area. So it's in eastern Wayne County. So we'll see if we have any other cities out there ahead of it. There's the latest scan right now, as you can see, and we're still seeing some of that broad rotation in there. As we get closer to that 3:45 time frame, we'll see if the Weather Service continues that tornado warning, whether they extend it or whether they allow it to be canceled altogether. But that broad rotation is continuing to move south and east of Jessup in between 301 and at 25, getting over towards the Pendarvis area. And let's see if we can get other little cities. So it looks like they canceled the warning. So, okay, that is good news. Yeah, again, it looked like the rotation was more broad, but the Weather Service is the one who puts out the warning, so they have canceled the warning. Let's put the warnings back on just to show everybody. They are going to allow that to expire at 3:45, so another minute or so, this warning will be expired. We still have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect now at ahead of it through 5 p.m., including parts of Glenn County right now, and you can see there are 3 or 4 different severe thunderstorm warnings all expiring at different times depending on where they are. It's all due to that line of storms making its way east of Interstate 95 here into the Savannah and Low Country area, and then approaching I-95, heading down into the Darien and the Thalman region. So since that warning has been allowed to expire, we are going to send it back to programming. If we did have any more tornado warnings, of course, we're going to be live on air for that. And of course, stay tuned for the news at 4 coming up in about 15 minutes.